Okay, thank you, Corey. Great to be here on a Monday afternoon and still be alive in the NCAA tournament. We had a great weekend here. I want to thank all the people at Purdue for doing such a great job of hosting. That's never easy. You always want to have the opportunity to, but it means a lot of extra work for a lot of people. And Purdue does a great job of hosting. The NCAA recognizes that, so when we have that opportunity, it's great to show what we can do. But two good matches against two really good teams. Western Michigan and Loyola of Chicago were two teams playing as well as any mid-major programs in the entire country. And we knew that we were going to have to play well to be able to match up with them and beat them, and we did. Started a little slow against Western Michigan, but that's a credit to them. They're well coached, well prepared for us, and finally, came back in a couple of the first sets to win that match in 3. And fortunately, our players had a chance to watch Loyola of Chicago play their match on Thursday night and see how incredibly passionate they were and what a great defensive team they were and who some of their big-time hitters were. And I think that helped us get ready for them. But both teams just had remarkable seasons, and I think we should congratulate them as well. But now we look forward to going to Louisville as part of the regional down there. It's a tough regional, Florida and Stanford in the first match, and then our Boilermakers against Louisville in the second match down there. It's a 9:30 start for those of you that are planning on attending, which we hope will have thousands and thousands of Purdue people there. But we know Louisville's tough. They've been one of the top 5 programs in the country over the last 3 or 4 years. So it'll be a big match for us, and we'll have to play awfully well. So that's kind of the lead up, and now we're ready for questions. Oh, and I've got 2 great people here with me as well. I've got Chloe Chacoin, sophomore outside hitter from right here in Lafayette, Indiana. And then we have Allie Hornung, senior libero out of, I want to say New Albany.
Yes.
Where she went to Providence. Sometimes I get there's New Albany, there's Jeffersonville, there's something else down there too, right, in the same triangle of Clarksville. So I want to get it right, because if I get it wrong, she's going to let me know.
True.
Yeah, so start things off. Chloe, this is your second time around with this tournament. How does the rhythm change when you've got the tournament games and the travel? Is it a different feel than Big Ten season?
A little bit, just because once you lose, you're done. But just going off of last year, I think playing in the Sweet 16 last year helped this team a lot. And I don't know, I think we all know what to expect, kind of, just from maybe not the team we're playing, but just a logistical, like we're leaving 2 days early and we get there and we know what we have to do. So it's a little bit more calming knowing what you're going into.
Yeah. Allie, how does Louisville compare to some of the top teams that you guys have played in the Big Ten?
Mm-hmm. I think that's something that I'm grateful for, is that playing in the Big Ten, every single game is a tough match. But I think just watching Louisville, they're very athletic, very scrappy. I feel like they're kind of similar to us in a way. So I know they have 2 really great outside hitters that they lean on sometimes. So just watching film and preparing for them, we know they're a really good team, and we'll just have to prepare as best we can.
Dave, that's kind of been an area of, struggle. I mean, you guys have been a top 10 team all year, but the losses when they've come have come against the teams that are kind of right above you guys. So I guess, why is that, as you've diagnosed some of that, and what do you think you can do to change that against teams you might see now and maybe later on?
Yeah, you're right. I think that every team that, did beat us was ranked ahead of us at the time. And we did not respond the way I think that this team's capable of responding, for whatever reason. It's been pretty well documented, but I thought up until we got about a third of the way through the Big Ten season, we really weren't ourselves. We were still trying to figure out, what we needed to do to be successful and what it was going to take. And then I thought we became a pretty good team, yet we still fell to Wisconsin here in 3 and at Penn State in 3. And they felt like, those matches felt like we got annihilated. but if you go back and look at tape and look at the stats, it wasn't nearly as bad as what it seems. Those two teams, by the way, are still in the NCAA tournament and in pretty good position. But I think our theory all the time is just get better. And going into this week, we have to get better. We've identified some things that we feel like we can still improve on from watching tape and watching us in matches and practice. So we have to get better. Like Allie said, I think that we're a similar team to Louisville. They may have been ranked ahead of us all season, but I think there's a lot of similarities. And we played them in the spring in a match down, where did we play them? I think that was at Hamilton Southeastern High School. We played them. And the same night that our basketball team was playing in Detroit, in the, what was that, the regional round there too? So I thought our girls did a great job of staying as focused as they could on the match, and we were supposed to just play 4 sets so we could get out of there and find some place to watch most of the basketball game. But it was tied at 2, and we decided I got coerced into playing the 5th. And in the 5th, we got beat pretty soundly in the 5th. But we played a pretty close match with them, at a fairly neutral floor in the spring. But a lot has changed since then, and I think both teams have gotten a lot better, and I think whichever team plays the best on that night is probably going to win the match.
Allie, Chloe gets to play in front of home fans pretty much most of the season. You don't get that opportunity, but you're going to be right across the river from where you grew up. Do you anticipate a large following from Providence, from New Albany to come there and support you?
Yeah, I know a lot of people will be there. I've already had a lot of text messages. Just sent them the ticket link to get it. But really, playing here, my family always comes to all these games, and aunts and uncles. So I feel like I have a good little fan base here, but I know that I'll have a lot of people there on Thursday for sure.
What's this kind of mean to you? Like, when you saw the Final Fours in Louisville, I know you hope your final match is in Louisville, but now it's guaranteed, whether it's the next one or 4 matches down the road. What's it kind of mean to end your career right next to where you grew up?
Yeah, I was talking to my mom about this the other day, but just ending my career where it kind of started, because I played club my last few years over in Louisville, and it's just kind of special to be able to end it where I learned so much and had so many great coaches and family members support me all the time, so it's just really special.
I know I asked you about this the other night, but I don't think you can anticipate when you're just making a reactionary play how much that populates and goes viral. What has been the reaction to people seeing you on ESPN, to seeing you make a spectacular, 3 spectacular plays within 5 seconds?
Yeah, it's been really cool just to get a lot of text messages and support from it. But I think it was just really special in the moment because it was my last game in Holloway. So just being able to end with something so cool and have my family there, and just hearing the gym get so loud, and it was really awesome. So.
Chloe, Dave talked about, feeling like this is a different team. I think you have 1 loss since November, is that right? Against Penn State?
Yes.
So you're riding a lot of momentum right now. Can you kind of feel that wave of just like this team is kind of imposing its will and playing the way it should?
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the season, we knew we could be a lot better than last year, and I think we're doing a good job of that, but we obviously have some bigger goals that we haven't reached yet, and I personally just have felt it in practice and in our games. We have really good senior leaders, and you obviously have people like Eva Hudson and Raven who can put the ball down, so just having those big guns, but then also having the back row people like Allie and Ryan and a really good setter and a balanced offense, I'm just really excited, and I think we have the momentum going into this weekend.
Dave, what's kind of been the turning point for this team? You talked about it becoming a better serving team, a better passing team, but it seems like kind of everything has come together the way you've hoped late in the season.
Attitude, I think, just the mentality that we've developed over the course of time. I think there was a feeling that because we returned all these players from last year's team that we were going to be really good. And we were pretty good. And then after we lost 3 out of 4 matches to Kansas, Creighton, and then Penn State, I think we recognized we weren't good enough. and we weren't doing things the way that we needed to do them. And I don't know how these guys think they have the answers. I'm just looking at it from the outside, but I thought that was a wake-up call for this team, and that we needed to change who we were. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was just all a process, you know, that they knew what they were doing the whole time. But one thing is, Allie Horning, who can sometimes really wear you out a little bit, but she has been such an incredible piece of this puzzle, because we have a lot of real intense characters, which you have to have. You cannot win at this level without Chloe Chacoin, Eva Hudson, Raven Colfin. You know, some of these people that they're just super, super intense, okay? And Allie comes from a little bit different. I mean, obviously she plays hard, but she keeps it all a little bit in perspective better than I do at times. And you need that, you need some of that. We have a couple others like her, you know, but Taylor Anderson, pretty chilled, okay, compared to some others on our team. And I think the whole thing started to come together. The chemistry piece began to blend together as the season went on as well. And people started spending much more time in the gym together outside of actual practice time. And you could just see it in the looks on their faces that they started to believe in each other, and they started to really love each other. And at tournament time, those things really matter. I say that to them, and sometimes they might understand it, they may not, but teams that really care about each other have some incredible purpose to win and continue this season as long as they can. That makes a big difference in the tournament.
Kind of going off that, just talking about like bonding with the team and, you know, having really good chemistry at the end of the season. How does that help the mentality going into tournament time? Like you had kind of alluded to, Chloe, about, you know, every game is you have to win to keep going. How does that change your mentality from regular season play?
I think we just play with a certain calmness and confidence that, I mean, we had it last year, but I think we're a little young, especially my class, and I was just like out there kind of playing and having fun, but I didn't feel as in control as I do this year, and just having that trust in each other from off the court activities and just a whole season grinding it out, I think it's really special.
And then how do you guys feel, do you think you're well road tested? You know, your record's been pretty solid at home, and you had the advantage of playing the first 2 rounds here, so what does it look like going to Louisville for the next steps?
I think the Big Ten season really prepares you for that. I think about our trip out west. We were there for like a full week. Had kind of a lack of sleep at some points, but we got through it and we prepared well for both of those games. So I think just having that Big Ten season to prepare us for wherever we go in the tournament, but now it's Louisville, I think it's a good preparation step for us.
And then, Coach, kind of along those same lines, you've talked about earlier hoping there's a big crowd of Purdue fans out there. Do you expect to see, you know, a lot of people there from traveling, and what does that help? How does that help boost the team?
You really never know. A lot of it just depends on what time of year it is, you know, and what's going on. This is Thursday night around the holidays. There's a lot of people that are jumping on this train right now, okay? I mean, we've had great crowds. The Mackey experience was unbelievable. I don't think anybody here thought we would sell all those tickets out in 2 days. And as I mentioned on a very popular podcast show today, we didn't spend one dime marketing those matches, and yet 15,000 people were there for both of those, okay? So we've been on the road a lot and seen a lot of Purdue people everywhere we go, but this time it really matters. I mean, now we really need those people to be there. And I've also talked about the fact that I was in the Yum Center when, we're not gonna be in the Yum Center this week, but when Matt Painter's team was down there a couple 3 years ago. I can't remember exactly how many years ago it was, but I know Carson Edwards was there. And it was an unbelievable sight to see 90% of the people in that gym were wearing black and gold. And that made a big difference to our basketball team, and it will make a big difference to our team to have a really big Boilermaker crowd there.
Chloe, along with mentality, you know, what are some other lessons you've maybe learned from your last tournament run that you can apply going into this one?
I'd say probably, like, obviously the Oregon match was really hard last year, but this year, I think beating Oregon in that reverse sweep kind of helps us going into the tournament because we have that confidence that even if we are down 0-2, like, we prove to ourselves that we can come back. So probably just, like last year, we knew we had to leave it all out on the court, but I think just playing with that confidence and just knowing that we can hang with any team probably.
Yeah, so Chloe, something that obviously got brought up in this, I think Dave said it, was when you lost 3 out of 4, and that kind of changed your mentality, and how you guys thought that coming back and bringing everybody back, you guys would ostensibly improve. But then another moment where Selection Sunday, and you guys see that you actually drop a seed from last year. I want to know how that kind of hit you guys and how you thought about that in terms of perspective of like how much have we grown? I mean, has that question kind of surfaced multiple times this season maybe?
I think it has, but I think everybody who's in our gym knows that we are better because last year we were losing to teams like who are really good, but they were ranked below us, like Illinois and IU. We would just get upset, and we would either be really good or pretty bad, so you didn't really know last year. And this year we're a little bit more consistent. Even though we lost 3 out of 4 that weekend, I'd say like Dave will tell you he had so many people in his office being like, what should we do? Like it was kind of a come to Jesus moment. Like we're all like, what's going on? Because we had never really lost that much before, and especially in college. But I think just going into the tournament, like we know even though we kind of got a lower seed this year, it obviously worked out for us in our favor. And I think just being ranked lower is kind of a blessing in disguise because you don't have all that pressure on you.
All right, all set?
Okay, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you.